So here's some gifts that we've brought. Evan's brought these gifts. Evans, you want to tell us?
Jody brought some of the marbles and the hanging owls and just some decorative items here, some beadwork, kind of colorful, that will hopefully attract their attention. I brought some seashells in a jar with a lid on it with a handle that we could hang. And Tom had a good idea to count the items in the jar, that way see if they removed anything or if they add anything. So it's sun's going down now, and we are getting ready to deploy these items, and then also trail cameras and the audio recorders.
I guess we're getting ready to deploy an Apple for them tonight. It's Friday, October what? 9th. There you go. So anyway, we're going to deploy an Apple up here.
We're right up on the high river bank, just above the river on the north side. But we're going to hang this gifting jar from the wire here and see if they're interested in the things in the jar, if they remove anything, or we should be able to hear if they open the jar, because everything in the jar is fairly noisy. We've got marbles, seashells, beads, stones, some colorful stones. There's exactly 13 objects in here. Just by accident, we found 13 objects. So maybe that'll be our lucky number. Deploying this audio recorder. I hung it out in the open because I know in the past if I've hung it near a tree trunk or near branches, whenever the wind blows, then it will tap, tap, tap. You get that noise from it bumping around. Hopefully we'll pick up some activity if they begin to mess with the jar with the trinkets in it, that sort of thing. Shouldn't be enough noise. We should catch it on the recorder. I mean, look, it's like a heel print there. I mean, look at how it's tore up.
Mm-hmm.
Something's been...
Definitely some deer, too.
It's been so long since it's rained that the sand is pretty hard packed right now.
Hard to tell.
And what's weird is it's like in the path of the smashed down area right here.
Yeah.
It's just very smashed down. This one spot going back towards, kind of back towards our camp.
Drag marks.
Where
they're dragging.
Okay. You know the beaver's footprint looks like, right?
Yeah, I don't see it.
No.
I see coyote tracks going across there.
I don't get that. That's weird.
But that is... Look how... Look at that there.
Yeah.
Be some big toes.
Mm-hmm. It's so dry because we haven't had rain here in over a month that
you need to come back after a good rain.
It's the top of the sand is real crusty, and so I mean we're finding some interesting looking prints where it's broken through the crust.
There's more drag marks, a different spot, just several feet from the other drag marks.
Looks like a coyote's been across it, sniffing it, but
and you don't think it's a kayak?
Looks like something with a belly that's, or something.
See the green cut sticks here.
Looky right here. Looky right here. Look at that
So
track
that
right
means
there.
beaver?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll cut them.
Well, darn it anyway.
That's kind of what I thought.
Still interesting and a good find.
Yeah.
Good find.
Juveniles, if we have any.
Okay. It's cute and colorful. What are those little owls or birds?
Little owls. I thought maybe it would attract the juveniles with the colors.
Here's something.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, pointing toward the gifting area. And I'm going to do a little camouflage on it as well, but I'm trying to get the right angle as well at the same time. Kind of I have to do a little stick wedging.
I'll have a bucket with dirt here, and you put dirt on top of.
So we're hearing an owl this direction, kind of back towards the field. And some of us, I mean, we think it's something trying to mimic an owl. The phrase it sounds like a sad owl was used. Right now it's dinner time, and we're cooking dinner. Got the fire going, but we're hearing some owls. A lot of owls are out. And Evans has the FLIR, and he said that he had the FLIR going this direction, and he said that he found whatever it was making that sound, but it didn't have any body heat. So I think he said it was showing up black, so that's kind of interesting and weird. But yeah, it's just coming back from that way somewhere. And here is one of Evan's lights that he put out. I think it's a pool noodle. Is it a pool noodle with like special lights in it?
Yeah, some kind of little, foam.
Yeah, okay. And anyway, it's got a lot of flashing lights, colorful. So we're gonna use this strategy tonight. See if it brings these river apes in, that Kurt likes to call them, here in the North Canadian River Project Area 3. So we're using a lot of different techniques and strategies tonight. And Evans is right here on his FLIR. You seeing anything right now, Evans?
Yeah, I thought I caught a head back there in the woods. It was awful bright. I was looking around.
And what did you say about the owl? You thought it was just all black?
Well, whatever that shape was over there, it was on the ground, but it was all black. Instead of showing up white hot, it was showing up as dark black, but it seemed to be on the ground, seemed to be moving.
There it went.
Yeah, one of the owls sounded a lot lower than the other owls. It didn't sound just quite like an owl. But
So you saw something just now?
it looked like two round heads, but it was just like the head. I couldn't see, but you could see them moving back and forth. It looked like they were around the base of a tree.
Okay, so maybe crouched down.
Yeah.
Or just a really short
Yeah, they were
animal.
laying down,
Yeah, okay.
but now they're gone. Now what was showing up as bright white hot is gone. They either ducked back down behind that ridge back there, or the berm back there.
The comment was made while we were eating that some of the owls, it was like owl sounds mixed in with voices. Did you hear that, Evans? The owls mixed in with the voices?
Yes, yeah, it sounded like a mumbling.
So we're having some weird activity already off the bat. We just don't have any good thermal footage yet, like Kurt and Chris got back in the spring, back in March. So we're gonna keep scanning the perimeter around base camp, and we'll see what we get as the night goes. So here's Tom Crabtree. He's setting up his famous thermal camera
From a 2001 Cadillac DeVille. Look.
What do we got?
Something going down that tree.
Oh,
Right
yep.
there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is a squirrel. That's moving like a
Nah.
squirrel, isn't it?
I don't think it's a squirrel. I don't think squirrels come out at night. It's either a raccoon or a mouse. It looks like a mouse.
Okay, yeah, alright.
So listen, if it can pick up a mouse,
Yeah.
tell me it can't pick up a half of a body or a head.
Mm-hmm.
See how it's crawling? Look,
Yep.
see
Mm-hmm.
how it's crawling in through the trees?
Yeah.
I guess it is.
It's moving pretty quick.
That screen or stinks. That's why I just need a bigger monitor.
Yeah.
Look at that, look at that. Look, it's moving again. Look,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, wow, look how fast it's going. It's
Yeah.
a mouse.
Yeah.
Look at that. Is that cool?
Yeah.
To pick that up?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look how fast he's going.
He's quick.
So tell me you wouldn't see a person out there. We need to do a demo, don't we?
Do you want me to walk out there?
Eventually, yeah, if you want to, and then.
Alright, I'll go out
Look
there.
at that mouse. Look at him. It's a rat.
Which way are you going? Oh, back that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say go on the trail.
Well, I'm gonna walk straight out there.
Are you? Oh wow, you're humongous. Well, I'm just saying that you could go way out there. You could go way out there and see. You want to keep going? Do you want to go close to the berm? Yeah, let's do it, and let's just see what you'd look like out there. So what we'd know what to expect, you know. I'm gonna follow you. Wow, you're about a quarter of the screen. How far do you think you're out? 50, 75 yards maybe? Okay. Man, that thing goes way out there. That mouse is way... Your arms need to be a little longer though, and you need a conical head. But you're taking up just about all the screen. But you can see it goes way out there. You can pick up stuff.
And I'm 6 foot to 6'1". Oh, now what do we got?
That's that mouse.
Same mouse?
Yeah, I bet he's 75 yards out there.
Back to a little to our left.
Yeah, I think he's almost straight. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, he's straight?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, about right there. There's another one, unless he
That's a different one?
Maybe, unless he run back over there.
I think it's the same one.
Could be. But it was the craziest thing. Man, we didn't see nothing that night until we were leaving. And I had a flashlight. We were in one of those side-by-sides, you know what I'm talking about? It was like a four-seater.
Yeah.
And I was doing my flashlight as we were, scanning the sides of the road. And I caught eye shine way up high.
So we're on our way back. It's Saturday morning. We're going back to our gifting site. We're kind of weaving our way through all this heavy brush. And we're going to check our trail cams and our giftings. See if anything was messed with.
Yeah, but I believe it's deer tracks. I mean, we kind of see either the hoof prints there, but something's disturbed this area.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't recall seeing that there yesterday. The apples are gone.
Oh wow, yeah.
There were 2 apples. Doesn't look like it's been handled or opened, or I'm trying not to leave fingerprints on it. Yeah, nothing's been moved in the jar since Evans to base camp.
Go ahead.
So we've come to the gifting station and the apples are gone. Doesn't look like the jar has been messed with.
Darn it.
And we're going to move down to the trail cameras and Jody, where you hung the other gifting.
We got deer tracks everywhere. Evans is finding them.
Okay, we're at the second gifting tree. The zucchini is still there, and your mobile with the beads and the owls, it's still hanging there. Doesn't look like it's been handled or manipulated. The river here is you'd have to find somewhere where you could get up the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look how steep that bank is.
Yep.
Which may be why they don't cross here.
Yeah.
And there may be a shallower spot downstream
So
or
Evans
upstream.
found this beaver track, and then of course we saw some drag marks similar to this yesterday. We think this is a fresh one, and of course right across the river right there is probably where the beavers are taking all their limbs and such that they're finding and
It
gathering.
doesn't appear that anything handled the bag. There's no fingerprints, smudges, or smears on the bag. So don't think it was messed with last night. So we'll go back and so we should have it was activated at 7 p.m. last night to 11 a.m. So what, about 16 hours of audio. So this is Tom Crabtree's camera. We had it pointed toward one of the gifting stations down right here on the riverbank. But I like Tom's setup. He took advantage of the natural Virginia creeper vine here and kind of hid it amongst the vine and had put some of the vine around it. So I like that idea. See, we're going to pull the card, take it back to the base camp, and look at it on the laptop. See what, if any, if we got any good stuff. Facing that little open field just above the river, on the west, toward the west edge of the property. They thought maybe that they were coming from the west, actually, instead of crossing the river, or crossing the river further down to the west and coming, walking along the riverbank, or through that little grassy field and then behind the berms to the south of the camp.
All we got was setting the camera up and
retrieving the camera.
retrieving the camera.
That's, yeah, I really am becoming more of a believer that these things, and of course I didn't try to hide my trail cam, really, but that they really work at avoiding the trail cameras. So anyway, but we just keep trying. Last time we got that really interesting video of the deer coming down the trail and something behind it with huge eye shine in the woods behind it, following it.
Oh yeah, that deer.
Check out the river and see some tracks that Evans and Jody and Tom was actually the one that discovered these tracks. It's in the water, right?
Yeah.
Something stepped in the
edge of the water line.
Something stepped in the water, so we're gonna walk down here to the river and check it out.
This is the print we think we found. Now we're not sure if it came from this area back over here, but if you look at the toes, the splays in the where the toes might have been, and maybe the mid-tarsal break possibly, but it's a possibility. Maybe we're hoping, but it looks promising.
You got hoofed at?
I'd say even right here would be.
I'm gonna do one back. Ooh! Ooh! Jody just said she got huffed at over here, and you heard me do 2 huffs back. Heard anything else, Jody?
Yeah, I keep hearing something in here.
Oh,
Maybe that's what I heard.
like a beaver
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't see it.
in that structure. yeah, we got some beaver structures here, and then one further down there I showed you earlier near the track. So maybe we'll see some beavers on the thermal tonight. We just heard some owls back this way. There's also another owl come back from this direction of our camp. Our camp's behind here. Here's our tent. There it was. That was the owl. Okay, so we just heard a tree break, and so now we're hearing the owls start to get vocal again, and so we're going to set up Tom's thermal and scan the area towards the tree break and the owls' vocalizations.
We're looking for hot spots. Basically, this thermal is going to pick up heat. You can see some of these trees are actually still glowing from the heat we had today at 85 degrees. And so anyway, it's even rocks, trees, plants, you know, can hold that heat. And that's what you see. Probably, I would say, probably your best bet would be to come out in the wintertime and to look for you know, possible, you know, activity out in the woods because everything's cold.
Scrolling through Facebook one day, and an ad or page popped up for the Hanabi Bigfoot Conference, and told my husband that I thought that sounded pretty cool and I wanted to go. So we made plans for that weekend, and he got called away on a job in Oregon. So I drove down there by myself, not knowing anybody at all. So I only went Friday night. I stayed long enough for the campfire stories, and then I drove back over to Mena, Arkansas, where I had a room for the night. But while I was there, I sat down and visited with Mordecai. He showed me all of his prints, and he was the one that told me about Troy Hudson and his expeditions. And so I got a hold of Troy to set up one of those, and that's how I met all of you. I had always heard of Bigfoot. My gut always told me they existed, but that really pushed me into reading more and researching more. The first time I was invited to come out here, to be honest, when you look at a map and you think, I'm going to go to northwest Arkansas or Oklahoma, you really think of plains and nothing being out here. But as I got closer and I saw the river, I realized how thick the vegetation is down here and how easy it would be to use a river as a corridor to move long distances. I like this group. I like the group of people. Everybody's very honest and sincere. They don't just automatically assume that what they see and hear is what they think that it is.
Hey, believe it or not, I think that's one of my favorite things is the storytelling.
Oh, mine too,
and
for sure.
Troy is very, very good at it.
Yes.
You know, some of the stuff, the background, the stuff that he's experienced, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, that's, like I said, that's probably some of my favorites.
And adding the native beliefs in with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've seen a gentleman on YouTube it talked about Bigfoot in Oklahoma, and happened to pop it on there, and started watching it. Well, he was showing structures, he was showing prints and tree breaks, and I'm thinking, really, Oklahoma? And this has probably been 4 years ago. So anyway, I finally contacted this gentleman off Facebook, met him, and he started telling me his stories, and he invited me to come out with him once, and we went around. I think we might have met even at one of my hunting spots out in northwest part of Oklahoma. Kind of showed me some areas of his. So anyway, after that, it was full tilt. I started getting on every internet site, Googled stuff, and I was hooked.
How many reports come from just locally where you live? It's fascinating.
Yes, that's
And
what.
you know that's just a few people stepping forward. There's probably many more
Right.
that are too afraid to talk about it.
Of course, the Patterson film is by far the most iconic, the most realistic, the most talked about and controversial. But there's a gentleman named M.K. Davis that breaks it down like nobody else, and he literally made it just more possible that it was real by the muscle movements, the stride, the walk, just all kinds of stuff. And that was probably the biggest, part that influenced me, by just having somebody break it down and saying, how could somebody fake this, just by all the evidence. And that was the main one.
I enjoy more the stories that come from the common day man, I guess is what I want to say, other than somebody famous that puts themselves out there. I like to hear the stories from local people, children even. That's what attracts me, and that's the kind of information I look for.
There's a mouse.
So we just heard an owl extremely close. So we're trying to maybe see if we can find it on the film.
He's stuttering, wasn't he?
Isn't it over that way now?
Yeah, that way. Yeah, I'm trying to. I might not be able to get high enough.
Just tilt it backwards.
Huh?
I said, well, just tilt your thing backwards.
Yeah, okay. And he's right there.
Tom has placed this grill brush in the middle of our campsite, and there's our campfire over there. And so we're gonna see what happens. We're just gonna leave it in the middle and see if it moves.
We were in the tent right here that had the open screen all the way around it last night. It was like a food tent basically, but that's what we slept in. And as we were sleeping in it, everyone else went to sleep. Charlotte and I stayed up for a little while. She crashed a little. I stayed up till 5 a.m. watching. And I was watching one walk down, actually crawled down here. I was crawling down, had like an orangish, reddish eyes, and it was getting closer, and it was getting brighter as it was getting closer. And I had my green flashlight, so there was some noise over here, so I flashed it, and as soon as I did that, she told me I shut off my flashlight. I shut off the flashlight, and we looked at it, and the thing was just back crawling basically backwards. We did see she didn't hear it, but it had to be about 3, a little after 3 in the morning, but I heard from the river, and it was coming our direction, and is a river ape, and it sounded like he was saying "Ensue," and it was a vibration, but it was loud. And I was like, "Ensue," and I thought that was interesting. So I looked it up, and it's an old native name, and it says "come back at a later time," right, Charlotte? So
Come at a later time.
Come
It's
at a later time.
Native American origin.
Alright, so Tom has hung this feather, and this is right by our campsite, so we're going to keep an eye on what happens to it. We'll just take a look at what the campfire looks like. This is how we're leaving it. Leaving the campfire like this. We can go back at a later time. We got those 3 logs up against that tree. Interesting arrangement. And then once again, there's the grill brush in the middle. And then Kurt, he rigged up this solar powered light up here. And so we'll see if it gets untangled or anything like that. Okay, so we're back here at the gifting area, and once again, both apples have been taken. So we're on our way to Tom's gifting area where he left an apple right in front of his trail cam. Let's see if that apple's taken away.
No tracks that I could speak of, but there's just so much
leaves.
yeah, leaf litter.
There's a lot of leaf fall that it's hard.
My apple's gone too.
Oh wow, okay. The zucchini's still there.
Yeah, my apple
was
was right here. So if there's a deer,
yeah, we're gonna see it on your trail cam.
and you know something, my trail camera looks Zinky laid it right here. Yeah, I don't see it. Zinky laid it right here.
And it's not in there, huh?
It's all right. And I don't see no sign of cans.
Can of sardines isn't in there.
Mm-mm.
So it got taken, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Cans. See, I thought that when you walked up, you said, "Oh yeah, there's my sardines."
No, I brought a new can and hung them up.
Nope, it's not.
So it got taken.
Yep, it got taken.
First time.
Yep.
First time the sardine.
Well, I tell you what
It's down quite a bit right now, but I don't think
Something was
that
taken too.
activity's any different than it always is this time of year. This is the beginning of hunting season, and I think they are more cautious. I do think if we go down here and you'll run your footage, Ryan, that if we can step down, look how much it's grown over.
Yeah, it's bad.
But now if we can get down to that area on the sandbar, and then we can quietly just go down there, we may get them to a huff. Maybe you'll get it on recording. Seems like about every time we go down there, we get a huff. Evans gets huffed at every time. Jody said she did yesterday, so that'd be something to check out.